Were you worried about getting clipped? I mean, that's a fear of a politician.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, there was the occasional threat, and then occasional law enforcement protection if the threat rose to a certain level. But
crazy people.
Any slurs?
I mean, I didn't actually see some of the language. I would just get word from someone. It's like, hey, there's been a credible threat, so you're going to have like an extra layer of security for like this period.
Damn. Sure, the wife hates that.
Yeah, sometimes they wouldn't tell her because I mean she doesn't need to know that stuff.
No, that's not going to help.
It's weird. I remember when Obama won, there was that thing where you're like, fuck, I really hope he's going to be okay. There was like that scary moment. Then once after he was okay, I think there was like a moment where like, all right, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're still nervous, but it's...
Well, I mean, now, like,
now you're fine.
Yeah, now it's like, I mean, I'm just a
procrastinating assassinator. Yeah, I was supposed to do this 4 years ago. It slipped my mind.
Yeah, well, Chappelle had that great joke in Killed Him Softly, which is, old as shit. It's probably 1999 special, but he's like, I don't want to be a black president, so for protection, I'll have a Mexican vice president. Ain't that right, Santiago? See, it was a great bit. But then we had a black president for 2 terms, and it was all fine.
Yeah,
I think. Not maybe we just didn't know anybody, or hear about any assassination attempts, but I think it was gravy. Everybody liked Obama.
I feel like New York too is also like you just don't think of it as like a place where you're going to get shot. I don't know. I hope not.
Says John Lennon.
Ooh,
well,
that was 1980, but
all right.
You make a good case.
So why do you think RFK is not getting Secret Service protection?
Yeah, what's
going on?
He's a Kennedy.
No, I actually remember looking into this somewhat when I was a candidate, and they have thresholds and rules. Now, it could also be that they just don't want to give RFK protection.
He could get assassinated.
Yeah,
yeah.
They've had bad luck.
He's had in his family.
Rule of threes.
So I remember when I was running, the rules they set out, they told us were like no one gets any security until you're the nominee.
Okay.
And so we're like, all right, that's one threshold. Now in RFK's case, he's running as an independent, so there's no real nomination. And so what RFK is saying is, look, anyone who polls above a certain threshold should qualify, and I think there have been polls that have put him above that threshold.
Yeah,
it's pretty legit, and like I'm all for people being able to campaign without fear for their safety. But one of the reasons why I think that, there'd probably be 3 things that come to mind for me as to why the government would resist. Number one is precedent, which is like any independent candidate who runs and gets above a certain threshold to be like, hey, now I get Secret Service. And number 2 is it actually adds legitimacy to that person, because if they're walking around campaigning and then there's Secret Service rotating around, it seems like awfully presidential.
Sure.
And number 3,
interesting.
That protection layer is very, very expensive.
I see.
Like you're talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah, who's paying for that?
And so it would be a government expense.
Damn.
Wow.
And so those are, I think, like or it could just be like, they don't give a shit and they blah blah blah. But
could you outsource it? Get a couple migrants. Hey, here's a cool 50 if you stand near me. I'm just saying we outsource everything else. Why not? These guys need work.